Well, hello there. It's Josh. It's been a while. Yeah, just out for a stroll on the same trail as the last video. Yeah, it's been a while. It just rained, and it's just that like really nice peace, that comes after a storm. It's still cloudy and stuff, but I like this. I like this weather. It's like, just feels fresh and new, and you just know a beautiful sunrise is coming the next morning. I love it. So, yep. That is what made me want to go outside on a walk, and also just the fact that I haven't done any meaningful, literally any movement that could be counted as exercise today. So, thought this would probably be a good thing to do. Ate an apple, but I can't litter it because it's got this fucking sticker thing. Excuse me. So, yeah, what do I have to talk about today? Well, a couple things. So we are nearing, I'm trying not to count how many days it's been since I started nofap, because I've heard that it's like kind of counterintuitive. It's self-destructive because you're just kind of like counting down the day, or counting up the days, I guess, till you fail. Because like counting, it means it like you feel like since you're counting, there's going to be an end, like a last number. So if you don't count, it's just like, instead of it being a streak, it's more of a lifestyle. So I'm trying not to count, but I started so recently, it's hard to not know how many days I've been on nofap, and it's been like 12 or 13 days. I think 12 days, because yeah, this Sunday, so in 2 days, it'll be 2 full weeks of nofap. And like, first of all, this past week in general has been a lot more of a challenge than the first week, inevitably, but like the first week was not a challenge at all. Like, I did not get many urges. I got way fewer than I thought I would have, because I've been masturbating every day pretty much for the past, I don't even know when. It's been so long. I started early. But yeah, this past week was quite difficult, and not just like not fapping. It was just difficult in that I felt less motivated. I felt less confident. Like, I had to force positive thoughts into my brain about myself, like positive self-image and stuff like that. And yeah, I just wasn't feeling it this week. Like, lower motivation to work out. I still kept to the schedule, which is good. I did it every other day and did 4 complete rounds. But I definitely wasn't as like triumphant. Like, the first week of doing the workouts, I felt like pumped up. And like after one of the workouts, like I completed the last exercise of the last round, and I just felt so pumped up. Like, after I completed the last burpee, I jumped up and like pounded my chest and shouted. It was pretty cool. I felt very strong and motivated in that moment. But this week, it's been a lot harder. I've, hung my head low during the workouts, and it's just been harder to motivate myself. But the one I did yesterday, it was a step in the right direction. I still found it harder, but this time I gave myself some motivation. Like, I made myself do the work, even when I don't want to. Shout out to Hamza. So, yeah, but anyways, let's talk about like the last 3 days, and today in particular. The past 3 days have been the hardest in my memory in terms of masturbating urges. Oh, there's the colors signal, which I'm not going to adhere to because nobody sees me, so who gives a shit? Not me. But yeah, so yeah, these last 3 days have really tested my resolve. And each time I got like a serious urge, like one when I was in the bathroom taking a shit, you know, you're behind locked doors, you're private. I don't think anybody was in either room outside of the bathrooms. I had my phone. I had a video that was in my recently deleted, but it was very easily accessible. So like it was very easily accessible. Everything was there. All I needed to do was just click the video. And I almost did it. But I just, like, I delayed myself. Like, I didn't, in the past, I would have just, some mental hesitation, like, you shouldn't do this, but that's about as far as it goes. And then I just do it. This time, or these past few times in the last 3 days, I've actually, like, stopped, you know, tried to take a couple minutes, gather my thoughts, and it's paid off, because when you hesitate to do something, the more you hesitate, the less likely you are to do it, and most of the time that'll work against you. But for masturbating, it definitely helps, because that just gives your brain more time to, you know, gain resolve and find reasons why you shouldn't be doing it, and it gives it like a foothold. And yeah, so that was like the main like close call like 3 days ago. And then today, like just like an hour ago, it was like still raining super hard, so I was just holed up in my dorm room, you know, just being lazy. I was watching some self-improvement videos, but in the back of my mind I was feeling the urges. And so when I got done with the video, I just like closed out of YouTube, and like my phone was still on, and I was just laying there in my bed just trying to fight the urges. And I just sat there for like a couple minutes just doing nothing, just trying to fight. And then I opened my Photos app. I opened the recently deleted videos folder. I opened the porn video that I have not permanently deleted, because I don't know, commitment or something. I'm gonna delete it right after I finish this video. But yeah, I opened that video and I watched it for like a minute, and that's like when my temptation peaked. Like I wanted to so bad. And so like I had kind of decided to do it right there. So I, you know, closed the video, went to get off of my bunk bed to go to the bathroom to get some tissue paper. And then right when I was like, you know, on the edge of the bed, getting ready to go down the ladder, because it's a bunk bed, like right when my feet were hanging off the edge, I just stopped myself. And I basically just asked myself, what are you doing right now? And is it really worth it? And like just thoughts along those lines were just going through my head. And I hesitated more and more. And then I just, somehow I had the mental fortitude to, like, I still wanted to, and I still planned on going through with it. But I told myself, okay, go back to your bed, watch a couple of videos on nofap help. I don't know, go on a subreddit for nofap people and try to gain motivation to resist. And if that doesn't work, better luck next time. You'll just have to restart. And so that was my plan. And so I did that. I watched a video, and then I went onto the subreddit because the video wasn't helping, and I still wanted to. And so my last ditch effort was to go on the subreddit, go on like a nofap subreddit, and then, you know, try to find some motivation there. And I was scrolling through the posts. It was mostly just like memes of just like people who had relapsed, and then they like feel depressed the day of, and then the day after it's like motivation at its peak and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how that helps. That would almost make me want to do it even more. But then this one post came, and it had like a table showing like the days after you start nofap and like the stages you go through. And the first phase, it was saying like 10 to 30 days after starting nofap, and it said you'll hit like your peak urges around week 2, and it'll be like 4 to 6 days of just high level urges, and this is like the toughest it'll get. And like, yeah, that's just it. And some more words about some random shit. But when I read that, I realized that it's a part of the process. Like, this is what you're supposed to be going through, and this is the exact moment, because I'm like right at my 2-week period pretty much. And like, according to that, I don't know how credible that is, but it made so much sense in my mind because I was experiencing it, and I still am. But I realized that this is the part of the process, and this is the crucial point where I cannot give in. This is like the peak that the hump that I have to get over. And so when I made that realization, I gained resolve, and I committed to not masturbating. And so after that, I started journaling and reflecting on what had just happened. And to be honest with you, like, yes, I feel proud that I didn't, because that's like the hardest I've ever fought to not masturbate. It's like the first time I've actually resisted. Well, I've done it a couple times now in these last couple weeks, but that was like the biggest challenge that I've ever faced in terms of resisting FAP temptation. And you'd think that, or I would think that I would have felt a lot more triumph and stuff, but yes, I do feel a little proud, but mostly I just feel kind of weary. Like, is this what I have to go through until the day I get a girlfriend and come into her pants? Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Like, motivation is hard. It's hard to keep going, because it's like, for how much longer do I have to do this? And I know it's worth it right now in this moment, but it's hard to see logic when your dick is raging to release. Yeah. So that's basically what I've been going through in the past week. Just a lot less motivation, a lot less enthusiasm. And now I see, like, I've always watched these like people improving themselves and like glowing up, like, you know, super skinny, and then like 2 years later they're ripped. And I always watch their videos, and it's like, you got to do this, 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 and this, and it's hard work, and you can't give up. And I'm always like, yeah, I get that. Now let me just start doing it. And then I've never gotten to the point, like, far enough where I realize how much of a challenge it really is, because I always give up before then. But now, like, I haven't even been doing this for 2 full weeks, and yet I'm already losing that motivation. And it's hard work. Like, this past week, each time I did the full body workout, it's been I've just been like almost dreading walking to the park to do it, because I know I'm gonna be in pain and it's gonna be long and hard. But once again, just like the struggle, like that 2-week period of nofap where it's just the peak urges, it's just that hump you need to get over. And I never truly realized how hard it actually is. Like, you hear a lot of people like say something, like people who've achieved success, like they're always like, you know, you got to put the work in, but that never really settles in until you're experiencing that hard work and you don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, it's not easy and it's not fun, at least right now. That's the whole reason it takes discipline. I just saw a deer over there. That's pretty cool. Nature and stuff. But yeah, it's a struggle, that's for sure. But, oh yeah, another thing that helped me was, like, this was like, so, totally weird analogy, but like, in AP Physics, we learned about the different forces, and there's a force of friction, which it doesn't move, it just resists movement, which makes sense. Like, friction doesn't make you go somewhere, it stops you from moving. So, yeah, when I was trying to fight the urge today, there's a creature in there that's making a weird noise, and it's pretty cool. Oh, there's a fish in there. I want to go fishing so bad, fucking hell. Oh, anyways, so yeah, when I was fighting that urge, when my feet were hanging over the edge, I was ready to go into the bathroom to get that toilet paper and just start jacking off. Like, there was this force of friction in my brain that was telling me, no, just stop. And that was me imagining myself when I see Glendon in, like, at the end of May, when we're like on our canoe trip, because we're planning a canoe trip down the Chippewa River. And, you know, I've been daydreaming about it for like the past week, because I'm really excited for it. Just, not just like the camping and like canoeing, but like just the brotherhood of it, you know, like just me and my best friend just out in nature all by ourselves, depending only on ourselves. It's gonna be good. And so I've daydreamed about the things we're gonna do, like, you know, when we're resting from canoeing all day, you know, setting up the tent, sitting by the campfire out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Nobody knows where we're at, and just conversing about real shit. And I've been my thought in this moment where I wanted to masturbate, I was thinking, imagine the pride you will feel when you get to tell Glendon 2 months from now that you haven't masturbated since the beginning of March. And that just stopped me in my tracks. That's what made me stop heading to the bathroom. And that's what gave me the time to, you know, gain resolve and gain a foothold against my urges. And so yeah, like, just thinking about that. Accountability, man, it's a powerful thing. And it's crazy because he knows that I'm doing this. Like, I told him when I started. I haven't given him any updates though. But like, the power of accountability, like, even when he doesn't know how I'm doing, like, I just know the feeling that I'll get when I can tell him that I've succeeded in keeping myself from masturbating all this time. Like, it's powerful. I wonder how much easier it would be if I actually, you know, kept tabs with him and told him how I was doing with it. But hey, it's working so far, so hopefully I don't give up by the time I see him at the end of May. I'm super excited for that. I've never done something like that before. I've never camped before. Like legit out in the wilderness camping. It's gonna be like 3 days of canoeing down a 30-mile river, fishing along the river, living by ourselves, minimal contact with anybody, only using our phone for emergencies. So we're not gonna use our phone, is what I'm saying. It's gonna be a good time. And I'm rambling, I know, but I don't care because not many people will watch this, so this is just for me pretty much. But if you're watching this, hey, props to you. But yeah, I've got exciting things in the future. I don't know if I told you this, or I don't know if I put this out on video, but you know, maybe you saw that the previous video where I talked about how I ruined my relationships with my brothers. And I don't know if I said this, but I have resolved to apologize to all the brothers I've wronged. So that would be Peter, James, Joe, and Gabe. The majority of my brothers. Fucking hell. Man, I must have been a difficult kid to live with. Always so moody. Irrational. I mean, I was a teen, but I was a bad teen. Just not a fun... Like, I had all the bad that comes with the teen and none of the good. And it ruined my relationships with my brothers. And I'd love to apologize to them. The thing with Peter was a much more recent thing, and I've reflected on it a lot more, like a lot after it happened. It happened like last winter, I believe. And yeah, I just feel guilty about it. Yeah. That wasn't too good. Well, it was fun, but the way I treated him and his girlfriend was not alright. So, yeah. So I've got 10 days of leave after I graduate A school, and I plan to fly to New York for like the first 1 or 2 days and meet up with Peter and talk to him about it. Reconnect with him, you know, be an actual brother, have some fun with him. I can't remember the last time I actually like had fun, like genuine, just companionable, no awkwardness, just fun with Peter. Because we've never really been tight like that, you know. Like James, when I was a kid, we'd fight so often. Like, you know, he was way older than me, but I just get so mad at him all the time, and that continued through my teen years. But we've always been comfortable with each other, you know? Not so much in the recent past, but I plan to remedy that. I still have a much better relationship with him than most of my brothers, but I'd still like to clear some things up between us. But Peter, we've never really been outwardly like hostile with each other. You know, we've mostly been on good terms, but I just feel like I've never connected with him as much as I have my other brothers. Him or John, they're the two oldest, so it's not really a surprise, but yeah. And then John, today, he just told me that he will be coming to visit me sometime this April or May. So yeah, I'm excited for that. We'll do some fun stuff. I've never really done like stuff with John either, just us two. So I'd like to connect with him and, actually be a brother to him and see where he's at in life. So yeah, very exciting future. Very exciting. This next leave period, the 10 days after I graduate, man, it's gonna be awesome. Just in the next few months in general, just John visiting me, then me going to New York to visit Peter, then going back home during that same 10-day span to have a 3-day canoe trip with my best friend, and then go back and reconcile with another brother. It's just gonna be good if I actually go through with it. Like, apologizing to my brother Gabe is gonna be the most challenging and awkward of all. And that is the one that I most fear, but I feel like the more I think about it in a negative way, the less I'll be likely to do it. And so I'll just think of it in a positive way and only think about the positive things that can happen from it. So all in all, even though I'm not feeling great right now, in terms of like motivation and the struggle that it has been to, not watch porn or anything like that, and also to keep a consistent workout and just daily exercise routine, it's been difficult and hard to keep up. But this past week, I've spent so little time on my phone of just like pointless scrolling and stuff like that. Like, I've done like 0 time on watching like TV shows and stuff like that. I've only been watching self-improvement videos, if I have been on YouTube. Watched a couple, and I mean like very few actual pure enjoyment videos. And I've been sleeping pretty consistently early. Like, the last 2 days, I went to bed without looking at my phone like 30 minutes prior. Besides like setting the alarm and stuff like that, 0 phone. So yeah, I'm gonna try to continue that streak, and yeah. So it's a daily struggle, but we move, we keep going. So yeah, I'd like to keep going, but it'll just be more pointless rambling from here, so I'll just end this video here. So, signing out. I'll see you next time. Peace.